Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the CCJ Insider. This week we're going in depth, going zoomed up. As you can see, you can't see much of the set here in the Williams family basement. That's because we have brought on Google Plus. We brought on two founders of the CCJ, Purpose Driven Motorsports CEO President Clinton Wallace, and the Stubbs Motorsports CEO President Cass Stubbs joins us again in the studios. Guys, thanks for coming tonight. Always a pleasure to have you. Clinton, go ahead and say hi.
Hello.
As you can tell, we brought on Clinton there because it was mainly Cass on the picture there, but as you can tell, they're on a little bit of a delay, so don't mind it here. We will stay caught up as fast as we can. Let's not waste any time. As you know, we haven't been able to get a good video here in a couple weeks. We're going to start with Talladega. This past weekend's race, wild finish. Some say it was dark. Some say it should have been called because of rain. Either way, David Reagan and David, who do we say ended up getting second there? Front Row Motorsports, a wild weekend. Great work for them. Cass, what did you think of it?
Well, it was a great race. David Reagan and David Gillen going 1-2. Nobody saw that coming. An amazing green-white checkered run there at the end. Matt Kenseth was obviously the car to beat all day long. But you got to hand it to David Reagan. Those guys that rolled with him this week, I was lucky enough to pick him. Paid off huge for us. Paid off huge. A great race overall. You know, the Ryan Newman crying about running it after the rain delay, I thought was a little bit uncalled for. I thought that kind of showed just how sour he is about losing his ride. But I thought it was a great race. Clinton, what did you think? I just thought it was a great race overall.
I'd have to back that up, Stubbs. I think it was a great race. I'm happy for David Reagan. Had to eat my words a little bit after giving Stubbs such a hard time all week about how terrible of a pick David Reagan was. But my hat's off to him. It turned out to be a great pick. I'd like to talk a little bit more about Ryan Newman. As we can all tell by his picture on Yahoo Fantasy, Ramrod is a big fan of the Ryan Newman machine, number 39. And we have to keep in mind that Ryan Newman's whiny attitude is pretty, I don't know how to say this politely, but pretty closely tied to Ramrod. I have it on good authority via text message from Ramrod saying that if he had another terrible week, he just might quit. That's the rumor going around. So, if he's anything like Ryan Newman, it seems like Ramrod might be packing it up for the year. What do you think, JP?
Yeah, Ramrod I've always given the credit to. I think he's a very strong competitor. I always see him as a strong threat because of his closing, ability. I still think it's part of the fire that this guy has. He's always got a pilot light burning. It's just if you turn on the gas too quick, it's gonna blow up. And this guy the gas is building, and he's gonna be dangerous when that fire hits the gas. Another person I want to talk about whining. Did you guys catch Danica, covering for Ricky? I thought that was a riot. Wallace, did you catch that one?
No, I lost you for a bit.
I'm sorry. Did you catch Danica covering for Ricky Stenhouse, saying that it wasn't his fault for the wreck?
Nothing like your woman picking you up, huh?
Well, I thought you might like it.
Behind every good man's a great woman.
There you go. I thought, you might like that in particular, especially after you said behind every man's a great woman. You leading the way for the Wallace family. I preach your wife being behind you. I thought that's very fitting for you. Cass, did you catch that interview at all?
I caught just a part of it. Listen, Danica's got other things to worry about than to save this relationship. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. He caused the wreck. I saw her all upset about it. I guess to me it's a non-issue. They're two 20th or worst drivers in my opinion. Not real impressed. Not real impressed. I don't know. Not much else to add to that, JP. To be quite honest.
Yeah, that pretty much says it enough. I mean, we it's like when Tony Stewart gets into Joey Logano's face, or when somebody has to talk smack. I don't believe they're doing it because they really feel that way. I do it because I believe it mainly because I think they're promoting NASCAR, and I'm for it in the sense that if we've got to pretend that there's drama, let's do it. I'm all about bringing more people to the sport. But at the same sense, let's not make it WWF and make it a soap opera show. So I get it, hindsight, both sides of the table, whatever you want to call it. I understand. Let's move past that. Let's talk about some big movers, and in that we can kind of touch base on a couple weeks. And I mean, let's talk about some people that are hot right now, like Tony Stewart Racing. The guy is on a heater, picking up this week's run. And to let you guys know, after he watched our first CCJ Insider, he texts me and says, "How do I get one of those buckles? I'm going to win." So I know the drive is there. I think he's dangerous. You guys have a dangerous driver that's trending up right now in the standings at all?
Well, I'll add to that. I mean, first off, Tony Stewart Racing going 219, 215 back in week 9. Outside of that, he's been on fire, just like you said, JP. Got to give that guy a lot of credit. Really running down Dan right now. The obvious one here would be Danny Williams at Young Money Motorsports. Everybody knows how I feel that he's on really a spectacular pace. If I had to pick one person, though, that I wanted you to be watching for, right now, I still think the Worm Cat. I think what an exciting guy he is. Clearly knows nothing about NASCAR, but his picks are paying off. Hanging around in there. I really like what the Worm Cat's doing. Got to watch, definitely on the hot list.
Yeah, I value your opinion. Clinton, what do you think?
I hate to inflate an ego that doesn't really need to be inflated ever, but I'd have to hand it to Jukebox. He's made a climb up the charts the last few weeks. He's rattled off a few finishes, winning back in week 7, but showing some fire as of late. Like I said, I hate to give credit there, but sometimes that's just what you got to do. And my props, my hats off to Jukebox and the way he's been able to recover after a sluggish start this year.
Yeah, really appreciate it. I mean, I always value your opinion. I didn't really see that one coming. I just try to get the best finish I can every week. I think I've left a good example for my wife, and I think you can see that when it comes to statistics, which has kind of been my thing. Looking at top 10s, there's 2 people with 7 top 10s out of 10 races, and that's me and my wife. And you can go back and look at our teams. We're not running the same lineups. So it's something we definitely take serious, even though my wife sometimes doesn't like picking C-list drivers. So really appreciate that. Guys, let's talk about a team that could be trending down. Cass, what do you think for a team that's trending down? And let's take away the obvious one and stay away from Robert and Team Ramrod, because clearly that is a train wreck that is trying to stay on the track. So other than Ramrod, who fell 5 positions this week, tell me a team you think is falling fast and in trouble.
And Ramrod, like you said, that's too easy. He's the glaring eyesore right now in the CCJ. Just terrible. The other one would be Preacher's Wife. Obviously, 100 points last week is there's really no words to describe that. I know it's Talladega. They made a lot of excuses from Daytona back at the beginning. Literally couldn't spare a point. Otherwise, she'd be in double digits. I mean, that's really rough. 4 weeks, 3 out of the last 4 weeks in the hundreds. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Now, I will say this. Cheyenne's a great racer. Showed a lot of moxie last year. I don't think this is where she'll stay, but she's certainly trending down right now. Things are a mess over there.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. 3 out of the last 4 weeks going sub 200 points. She's in a tough spot. Clinton, what do you got for trending down, bud? And Clinton, I want to tell you, we kind of lose a little bit of your volume when you're not looking at the screen there. So gather your thoughts there and come to us. What do you think?
I think the obvious one for me would have to be Pile Hopper. Started off sluggish, but rebounded well through the middle part of this first session. But as of late, maybe besides Ramrod, I don't know if anybody's fallen quite as hard as Pile Hopper has. I know that the Baby Bull runs hard, but I'm starting to wonder if the Baby Bulls run out of steam. And, he said at the beginning of the year that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, I wonder if he tried to sprint a little bit too early and lost his kick, and then isn't going to have much left for this session. I guess we'll see what the summer session holds, but Pile Hopper is definitely trending.
We lost him.
Yeah, we lost him there, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and stay on that. I agree, and I want to say that I think Pile Hopper is taking too much on his plate. He talks a lot of trash in some sense of knowing a lot about different kinds of motorsports. He wants to stay on dirt. He wants to go back to pavement, back to dirt. And Cass, I really think that he might just be spreading himself too thin to really be an expert on one. Now, this is a guy that could still finish right in the middle. I'm going to say 8th to 14th place probably overall in the season. Could be respectable, but like Clinton said, trending down. Maybe he just got lucky in the middle part of this session. I don't know, but that's kind of the way it goes. Let's talk about a surprise maybe that so far this session. My big surprise has been two teams. One. And I'm going to stay away from Wormcat Motorsports because I don't think this guy's the real deal yet. One's going to be LHP Racing, and the other is going to be Cy Robertson Racing. Cy Robertson's fallen. I say Cy Robertson because I just his drive to want to be a solid team impresses me, and I think that he's going to be a competitor near third session. You might not see much of him in the summer, but I think come third session we're going to be impressed with what he can bring and try to close. And his LHP, the guy has been climbing silently right behind me, and I've been keeping a close eye on him. So I'm going to say those are my two surprises. Cash, you got a big surprise factor there?
Well, I got to agree with you. LHP, I didn't even know he was playing. I thought that he had quit week 2. And now look at him. I mean, the guy is on fire. Looks great in 8th place. I tell you that shows that he's got something to give us here in the spring. Really trending up, I think, for the summer. Another guy I want to point out is the Juniors Buds. The expression is, did he use his tires a little early? He's out of Dale Earnhardt Jr. starts.
What week are we on now? Week 10. You get 9 starts. He is out. So you do the math there. Sorry, Cass, to interrupt there. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, he's out of and I feel like Dale Jr. is a guy you want to have later on in the season. Stayed true to his name, Junior's Buds. That was his buddy for the first 9 weeks. He's out. He's a surprise. He's up there in 6th, running really well. Not sure if he can hang up there, though, without any more junior starts. We'll find out.
Yeah, great point. I see we're kind of still in and out with Clinton, so I'm going to touch base on that. What do you think Junior Bud is going to have to change his name to next to, fill that void? He's all out. What do you think the name change is going to be?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, you'd love to say, well, then he's going to ride the Kyle Busch train for a little while. He's only got 3 starts left with Kyle Busch. And that's not uncommon. I think a lot of people are trying to ride him while he's hot. Obviously, he's starting to cool off here a little bit. I don't know. Is he going to have to dig deep? He may have to run into an Eric Almirola, or a Paul Menard kind of a guy. 2 guys that I think are under the radar that are going to help people out in the B list. Menard's Bud sounds pretty nice.
Oh, I like that. Clinton, now that we've got you back here, we did touch base on the pile hopper. We agreed with you there. We're talking about our big surprise. I went with did we go LHP and Cy Robertson Racing? Cass went with Junior Buds. You got a team that's kind of surprised you. Maybe it's up, maybe it's down. You got a team that might surprise you.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely got to be Pinchy Racing. I mean, seriously, somebody pinch that kid and wake him up. I mean, for as much as he runs his mouth and thinks that he can hang with the big dogs, man, just recently joined another fantasy league with him, and he talked all sorts of smack, and, yet again, he can't back it up. So for me, the surprise has got to be Pinchy. He just can't seem to put his money where his mouth is recently, and I hope for his sake he figures something out, because it's just not the same not having him around the top, and he has no ammo to back up his talk, and I feel like he's kind of a JP protege, if you will. And I see a lot of potential in him, especially with his smack talk, but as we all know, JP's backed it up, and I'm just not so sure that Pinchy has the ability to back his talk up. So I guess, we'll see in the upcoming weeks if Pinchy can get this thing turned around.
Yeah, I think the big thing there is, it's sad that we have Pinchy Racing and Robert Bell Racing, fighting for what, 18th, 19th place, 20th place. And they're the two of the loudest mouths in the league. So, sad to see that, but, it's nice to see that, when people are complaining about this, it's just a runaway from, Dan Williams running away with it. There's still good quality racing going on all throughout the league. And that's why we have a tie for 9th place, a tie for 12th place. Still really wide open there in the middle. We've seen a few lead changes. Allergic to Camo goes from 1st to 9th in 2 weeks. So it's been a pretty hectic, crazy racing season so far. You look at Colgate Crasher, who's been up and down the charts. Dr. Smashley Motorsports. I'm going to tell you, her lifespan right now in the CCJ Insider is longer than her last dog. Pretty wild that she's still with us. It's just really great to see. You look at teams like Ford Racing, who's been kind of a sleeping giant, slowly working his way, keeping his way in there. Junior Buds, Honka for Harvey Racing, still a Nebraska fan, and I really enjoy, guys. Tell me what you think, but I tell you what. Between Honka for Harvey and Dan Williams, I don't think either one of them have a shot at a top 4 at the end of the season, but I love the rivalry they've built in the first 10 weeks of the racing. Cass, all about a good rivalry. What do you think about this one brewing?
Hey, nothing better than a rivalry to bring out the competition. And I love what's going on between Honka for Harvey and Young Buddy. Hey, give Honka for Harvey some credit. I mean, the new guy shows up, trying to make a name for himself, got a little cocky attitude to him. He's hanging around the top. Of course, Young Money is obviously bringing the heat, really running well right now, and a little bad blood makes things nice. I like it. I like what's going on here. Hopefully, we'll see some more rivalries brewing. But I really like what's going on between those two. I think it makes for a fun spring session here. Hopefully, it'll carry on through the year.
Yeah, I agree. Clinton, you got anything to add to that rivalry building?
Yeah, Honka for Harvey and Young Money kind of remind me of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Brian Scott. Like, before one of them kicked the other one in the nuts, have you ever heard of them before? I mean, that's kind of where I see this going here, that, they get their moment in the sun by taking shots at each other. And I would really have to give Honka for Harvey credit. I think he'll finish ahead of Young Money coming the end of the year.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but I disagree. Young Money I think's put himself on the chopping block, and I think he's going to stay up to the pressure. I think they'll both fall together. He says Harvey's dropping. Now he knows that Harvey beat him this week by looks like 60 some points. But let's not forget the week before, Young Money beat him by 100 plus. So it's interesting to listen to the smack talk that's going on between these two. I think they'll both probably, feed into each other, burn up some starts they shouldn't, and fall together. But I think it's really great to see. With that, guys, we really kind of have to start wrapping things up a little bit. It's been a pretty wild season. We're 10 weeks in. Let's talk about who is your pick to win this session. Right now, we've got 3 weeks left. Clinton, who do you like right now to finish this session ahead?
I think I'm gonna go with Honk if you're Harvey.
Really?
That's where my money's at to win this session. I think I'm gonna go with Honk if you're Harvey. I think he's got it in him. He's all-around sports guy, knows his sports. I really think Honk if you're Harvey's got what it takes to win the spring session.
Interesting. Cass, do you agree, disagree? Who are you taking to win after 13 weeks of racing here?
Yeah, I think it's clear. I think Young Money's too tough right now. I think he's going to ride this thing out, pretty much lead it wire to wire. Spring session, I think he's got it wrapped up. Now, I don't know that he'll win the whole thing. I think he's the front runner and the favorite. I think Oscar Harvey's an interesting selection. I can certainly see it happening. I think Tony Stewart. I think anybody, though, to be quite honest, anybody in that top 7 has a legitimate shot, I think. You might be able to throw LHP in there as well. But I think even that top 7's got a realistic shot. But if I got to make a play today, I'm going Young Money Motorsports. Too hot here in the spring session. It probably deserves it.
Great choice. Guys, for the most part, I'm usually a pretty humble guy. But I'm going to have to go with myself. I'm down 120 points. I've got 3 weeks to go. I've got 2 hotheads in front of me. And I really feel that I've got the tools to make a run at this. And you can bet that what I've got burning down deep is checkered flags. And I want those first before anybody else. So I'm going to throw a little bit of a heater on here in 3 weeks. I'm going to make up 120 points and go after a W here. So I was really hoping one of you would say my name, but it's okay. I understand. Guys, it's been great. Notice I did cut you off there. I didn't let you get a good rebuttal on me, saying I'm going to win myself. But I do appreciate you being here. Guys, let's hear some closing thoughts. Do we need to go into next week? Where are you guys at? What are you thinking? Cass, let's start with you, bud.
JP, good luck to you. I hope you can make up 120 points. I don't think that'll happen. Going into next week, we got 3 weeks left here in the spring. My team, I've been very vocal about how much we've struggled. I still understand we're in the bottom 15. I hired a whole new group of guys. A nice opening week now that with this new group. I'm really confident, really comfortable with these guys. I think we've got something in store for later on the season. Of course, I'm not dreaming anything here in the early going. I know we're probably still going to hit a bump or two, but we'll be there in the end. I think we'll make some noise. I want to shout out to Buckle Preacher, my brother. I know things are struggling right now. Keep your head up, bud. I think things will get better. Just stay with it. Maybe look into a new sponsorship, something to change it up a little bit. I want a quick shout out to 3M for sponsoring me on here tonight. Also, Valvoline and Ford Racing and Coca-Cola. Thanks for everything. Get you some Coke, fellas. And I'll just send it on to Clint. Thanks for having me on.
I'd like to extend a hand of thanks and thanks for having me on this first week. It's been great. It's been fun being part of the Insider. I want to send props out to Stubbs for the midweek mailbag, and I know he's fallen off a little bit at times, but he comes back with a bang. Did great. This is one of the few fantasy leagues that do something great to have an outlet like the Mailbag, like the Insider, and being a part of this league, you know, and being one of its founders. I know I haven't done much the last few years, but you welcome me back with open arms, and it's great to be part of an organization like this. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity. As far as my team goes, you know, we fell off early. We made a mid-session comeback a little bit, and then have fallen off. You know, last week took a few gamble picks. You know, oh well, we'll get back at it. It's a new week. You're looking forward to the challenges ahead, and let's keep it going, fellas. It's a tight race. I just hope there's as many guys close. Come 3 weeks left to go in the fall session. So keep it up. Let's keep racing strong, fellas.
Yeah, guys, thanks a lot for being here. You know, as we've touched base, it's really great to you know, see the drive you guys have. We got 3 in. We've got Wallace, and I know it's Rusty Wallace, but check my Twitter page. I did. If you guys caught 101.1 Monday nights. 6 o'clock to 7, they run Horsepower Hour, touching on everything motorsports. I went ahead and tweeted Kenny Wallace was this week's you know, guest speaker, and on it they did talk about how you know, they are trying to get a cup race to Iowa. So you can bet your butt that we are trying to get CCJ Motorsports on a billboard there, and definitely a section. So guys, again, thanks for being here. It's been a great week. We didn't touch next here on the next race here, but you know, we can't always give all of our good advice away, because we've got a lot of it, and some of it's worth a lot more money than we're giving away for free here. So as always, keep the hammer down, guys, and I promise you we're going to keep some CCJ Insiders coming, you know, more often, more frequent. We're going to make time for them. We've had some busy times, but you know, stay tuned. We'll keep them coming. Later.